everyone, it's me, Mimi Coms, and today I'm going to be giving you some of my top Netflix recommendations for you to watch during this time of a lot of free time to be watching Netflix. I've separated my recommendations into 4 main categories, and this is based on the type of content that I watch on Netflix and just like the different things that I think you might be looking for when you go to look for a show or a movie. The first category is Korean dramas because I've watched quite a few of these and have some good recommendations at this point. The second one is darker themed teen TV shows or just like TV shows in general. And for the third category, that is more lighter or uplifting dramas and like comedies or like those as well. And then the last category is movies. So I will start with the first category and move on all through all of them. So let's get started. For the first category, which is Korean dramas, I feel like I have a pretty good basis since I've watched a lot of the ones on Netflix. I wouldn't say most because there is quite a few, but I think I have some good experience with these, so I separated my recommendations into a top tier if you just want to watch like some Korean dramas, or like other recommendations if you're already familiar with or have already watched the ones in my top tier. However, top tier ones are my absolute favorites and I recommend them to everybody, even if you don't usually watch Korean dramas or subtitled television. These are really good shows that you're missing out on. So for the first tier, we have Crash Landing on You, and this is a really recent one I watched. It is about a South Korean woman who is in a paragliding accident and ends up in North Korea. And it's just a really emotional show and it has great characters and I love it, even though the whole premise is kind of insane. The first episode is really strange, but after that you get really invested in the plot. At least I got super invested in it and I really loved all the episodes. Next is Strong Girl Bong Soon. I watched this one a while ago, so I don't have clear as a memory of it. However, I really liked the acting and it's the same thing with the characters. Also, the premise is about a girl who has like super strength and it's a really cool concept and really fun to watch. Next is Hello My 20s, and this one you follow a whole group of girls in college and they're living in an apartment together. It's just a lot of fun, interesting, and sad, and like just a lot of different stuff going on for each of them. And lastly, on the top tier is Abyss, which is a like crime show, but also romance, but also like really character driven. And I really liked it because of the interesting concept again, where they have Abyss, which is like this orb that can bring people back to life when they've died. It's really cool and I really enjoyed it, and I really recommend that you guys watch it. Now that we're through my top tier list of Korean dramas on Netflix, let's move down to the other ones in case you've already watched those and have some more free time. My Hollow Love, which is about a girl who's in love with a hologram. Oh My Ghost, which is about a girl who sees a ghost and works in a restaurant. Love Alarm, which is about an app that tells you if anyone's in love with you within a 10-meter radius. My Runway, which is about 2 people switching bodies. One of them is a model and one of them is a girl in high school, and it's a really interesting and short watch because it's only 3 hours long. Accidentally in Love, which I put on here even though it's a Chinese drama just because it's really similar. It's just like a romance show about 2 people in high school. And One Spring Night, which tells the story of a girl who's like complacent in her old relationship and she meets a single father, pharmacist, and stuff goes down from there. That was it for my Korean drama recommendations. I hope you found something in there that sounded at least a little interesting. And now let's move on to some more serious or darker US dramas. First of all, it's Stranger Things, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard about. Although it's marketed as a thriller, Stranger Things has a lot of great character development and it's just a really cool storyline besides all the monster stuff, which I'm not really a fan of. It's also just like a mystery in general, not just about like the scary stuff, but also just like figuring things out and solving the puzzle. This Society, I'm only halfway through, but basically a bunch of teenagers are going on like their senior trip for high school and they come back to town and everyone's gone and they can't leave and they have to build a society there. Lock and Key is a show about a mysterious house and a family that moves in and learns about these magical keys inside the house that other people are after, and it's a pretty interesting mystery sort of. The Umbrella Academy is about a family of siblings who are reunited after their father's death and who have superpowers and used to be like heroes, and then one of the siblings appears to tell them that the world's going to end and they need to stop it. So it's just their whole entire journey trying to save the world. On My Block is pretty hard to describe, but basically it's about a group of friends growing up in a kind of difficult neighborhood with like gang activity, and they're trying to find this money that's somehow buried somewhere, and it's just a great adventure. Okay, now it's time to move on to some lighter or more optimistic or just fun shows on Netflix. First up, I put Glee because it's really great. The first 4 seasons are honestly so amazing, and I really liked them when I binge watched them a few years ago, and I recommend it, especially if you're a fan of music or even like old pop music, because they have a lot of that. Kim's Convenience is a sitcom, and each episode's like 30 minutes, but the plot's really good. And I guess this doesn't count as a US drama because it is set in Canada and made in Canada, so not US, but it's also really great, and I recommend this, and it's one of the few like comedy shows that I really like and recommend. Next up is The Politician, and that is about a high school election for class president, and it gets pretty serious and it has like some interesting stuff. It stars Ben Platt, so I was really excited for this, and it's basically just like a comedy satire sort of thing. Next is Raising Dion, and it's about a kid who has these powers, and his mother, who's a single mother, has to help him deal with it since he's like only like 8, and there's also people coming after him, so yeah. Anne with an E, which is an adaptation of Anne of Green Gables, is a really good show on Netflix. It's also Canadian as well, I gotta admit. But it's basically about a girl who gets adopted, and it's in the past, and yeah, if you know about Anne of Green Gables, it's basically it, but it's pretty good and I really liked it. That concludes my lighter, more upbeat and fun shows on Netflix to watch, and now we can move on to movies. Although there's a lot of really good movies on Netflix, these are just a couple of my recommendations for ones that I really enjoyed, so just keep that in mind. There's a lot of other good ones. First is Edge of 17. I watched this one recently. It's about a girl who's 17 and it's a coming of age story. Pretty interesting and good. Always Be My Maybe, which is a story about 2 people who were like friends and they were like reuniting, and it's like a romance. It's pretty good though. It's like, honestly, it's pretty good. Set It Up is a movie about 2 co-workers, and they're trying to set their bosses like up to be together so that they won't be as mean to their employees, if that makes sense. You know, if they're in a relationship, they'll be happy. Anyway, that's the whole plot, and it's really just like a fun light watch. Klaus is a really interesting Christmas origin story sort of movie, and it's a concept I've never seen before, and it's pretty unique. So if you're looking for a Christmas movie that's not like all the other Christmas movies, I recommend this one. I actually watched this one after Christmas. I watched it in January because I didn't know it was out till then, and I still really enjoyed it. So if you guys want to watch it now, go watch it now. There's no rule saying you have to watch Christmas movies in December. You don't. Rim of the World is a really good movie about these kids in summer camp, and then everyone disappears and they have no idea where everyone else went, and it's kind of sci-fi and it's pretty good, and they have pretty good characters and I really liked them all, so that's a recommendation. Into the Spider-Verse is a really innovative animated movie, Spider-Man adaptation, and the art style is really cool. Visually, it's just an amazing movie, but also the plot is pretty fun, and I recommend you watch this one just because the visuals and everything and the music and everything, it's just pretty fun to at least watch once, especially if you like superhero movies of any kind or action or animated movies. It's like a definite must watch. Lastly on my list is To All the Boys I Loved Before. The first one is really good, the second one's okay, but the first one is definitely like a classic Valentine's Day movie. It's based off the YA novel, and it's really great. Recommend, as all the other ones on this list have been recommended as well. That's it for my Netflix recommendations for you to watch during quarantine. I hope you guys enjoyed and got some great recommendations to watch. Now you have so much content to consume. Honestly, why are you still watching this video? You should be watching Netflix. And if there's anything that I didn't mention that's one of your Netflix favorites, please let me know down below, because I'm starting to run out of things on Netflix, honestly, and I would really appreciate some recommendations. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to get more videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and with that, bye!